see who else is there. Hi Christine. Oh yeah, I can wave to Christine. There we go. Right, stop messing about, sit down. Okie dokie. I'll just give everybody a few seconds to log on. There's a bit of delay on my phone. You probably have all logged on by now, but there's a little bit of a delay. Okay, we've got quite a lot to get through today. Getting our legs nice and warm and bendy and lovely, just to see how we feel about splits today. I don't think I'm going to be going into splits, but I'm certainly just going to start warming up, and I've called this class Our Journey to Splits. It's not about doing it, it's about everything we're doing on the way to getting there. So please don't be worried about it, you just do whatever feels good for you as always. Before I start, thank you so much for that beautiful gift today. You had me in tears at home. I'm going to try not to cry now. It's gorgeous. The candles smell divine. There's bath oils and salts. Look, I think there's about 4 crystals in it and beautiful feathers, just as a nice touch. And the eye pillow is stunning. It's a big, heavy, beautiful eye pillow, so I'll be keeping that for myself. It's so gorgeous, and thank you. And as much as I may well be keeping you guys moving, you are definitely keeping me moving. As much as I may get to the afternoon and think, oh, I've got to move tonight. Honestly, as soon as I start prepping the classes, I get excited, I get motivated, and then as soon as I'm in here, I just love it. And when I get home, I feel energised, I feel wonderful, and if I can give you just even the littlest bit of that, then my job is done. So thank you so much for supporting me and that beautiful gift. It's really important today that you have a strap. We're going to start off with that in a minute. If you don't have a yoga strap, it doesn't matter, just get a belt or even a t-shirt, anything that you can loop around your foot. So just a bit of clothing, a blanket, whatever it is, just something you can loop around your foot. And have handy lots of cushions, because when you do try and get into splits, even if you are here, even if that is your splits pose, it's quite nice to have lots of props between you and the ground, just so that you can relax and let the muscles go a little bit in the splits pose or wherever you are. So lots of cushions. As always, a cushion or something softer under your knees, and something a bit harder if you have it, even if it's just something like a square, some kind of square box, solid box or something. And I think that is about it. So we'll get cracking. I don't know if this is going to go quick or slowly. It's a bit different to anything I've done before. I have done splits classes with you before, but not like this. This is slightly different work up to it. So we'll see how we get on. So starting off, we're going to roll down really slowly. So sit yourselves up nice and tall on your mat. Just going to start engaging the core a little bit, and then you're going to take your journey down to your mat to start off with. Rolling the spine really, really slowly. So you will shake a little maybe when you get to a certain point. Rolling down super slow. And then taking the arms wide, let the feet go. And let's see how that feels today. So rather than just plonking ourselves down, which I know I get into the habit of doing, just rolling down beautifully. It's going to be quite a slow pace tonight, but we're going to really get deep into the hamstrings and the hips. We worked our legs so hard last week that it would be lovely to get a bit deeper into the stretchy ligaments and muscles this week. So start with that beautiful breath. Just noticing how you feel. Hands wherever is comfortable, whether it's by your sides or on your bellies. I cannot wait to get home and have a bath tonight with those bath salts and oils. I never ever have a bath. I do shower, but I never have a bath, so I can't wait tonight to have a lovely soak. Bit of a journey between now and then though. Feel your breath in your body. How does it feel today? Every time we come on our mats, we are a little different, and that's okay. It's not about being perfect. I'm certainly not a perfect yoga teacher, but it's real. It's real life. And real life might mean that maybe you feel a bit crap tonight, or maybe you feel a bit tight, or whatever it might be. Doesn't matter. Just start taking big breaths into your belly. Start letting your shoulders go. And try, if you can, to switch the mind to be as positive as it can be. Feel your hips and your legs. And see if you can let them go a little more. Not holding any tension. See if you can take an even bigger breath into your belly, as big and as full as you can take, and sigh it out. Let's do another one. Big breath in. And sigh it out. One more. And let it go. And gently bring those knees into the chest. And just take some little rock and rolls. You can circle the ankles, keep everything soft, we're not bringing any tension anywhere. And we are going to get straight into our hamstrings. So, getting hold of your belt or your strap, placing your left foot on the floor. We're going to start with placing whatever it is you've got around the heel of your foot. So it's not in the middle, it's not in the arch, it's not in the ball, it's right down at the heel. And then as you lift that foot up in the air, if you can, put the elbows on the floor and relax the shoulders. If whatever you've got is too short, it doesn't matter, just try and relax the shoulders. If that feels okay, you can extend your left leg along the floor. But the work in the left leg is just as strong as the work in the right leg here. The reason I've asked you to place it around your heel is because we're going to really pull down on that heel bone as if you're bringing the whole leg bones and rooting them down in your hip. So if you're super flexible, we don't want to bring that leg past 90 degrees. We do still want to keep it up there for now, but I want you to really root that leg bone down into the right hip, as well as rooting your left hip down, your left heel, the whole underside of your left leg. Everything on the lower body is pushing down. Your left toes are flexing strongly towards your face. And we're just making sure that hip bone, the leg bone, is firmly in that hip socket. And breathe in, of course. Kicking the heel to the ceiling, but not overstretching the hamstring yet. Okay, now keeping that left leg firmly down. If you have got the bend in the leg, it doesn't matter. Just try not to push so hard that your bum's coming off. We're going to readjust the strap now so it's on the ball of the foot. And then as you gently start to take that extension a little more now, don't lock your right knee. And we don't want the hamstring screaming. You're still pushing down firmly with that left heel. Maybe you can start to lift your chin towards your foot. Push down firmly with that left leg. And breathe. Your chin isn't tucked into your chest. You are lifting your chest. And let's hold that strap with the right hand. Place the left hand on the hip. You're still pushing firmly down into that left foot. I'm just going to have to turn here a little. And then you're going to start to take that right leg out to the right side, but don't let that left hip lift off. So as soon as that left hip starts to lift, you've gone too far. Root down through the left side strongly. Breathe. And slowly bringing it back to centre. Keep the work going through that left leg. Okay, let's see if we can keep that right leg there now, holding itself. So now I'm straightening my leg, if that's comfortable for you, sending the heel to the ceiling, I'm pushing my left heel down, I'm trying to get the gap between my two heels as much as I can without pulling. If I pull on it, of course it's going to go further, but this is pure strength now. Pushing the left heel down, sending the right heel behind me. The more you push down on the left, the more you're going to feel that leg working. And then taking hold of your strap for the last time. Now you can just get into that pure flexibility. Take it easy, keep that left hip pushing down as well. Might feel a little bit warmer now. And release the strap. Hopefully you can feel a little bit of warmth just all around the back of that right leg. And we're going to take pigeon pose now. So bend your left foot in if you need to. Imagine the pigeon pose that we sometimes do laying down. And this just means swinging that right foot over to the left and gently holding on. If you've got really tight hips or sore knees, you can bend that left leg in. And I am just bending my right foot over to the left and hugging my knee in. If you've got a little bit more flexibility, you can almost hug that knee in a little more. Keep that left leg strong. So you're now getting into your hips. Big breath. I'm so glad I'm out of time today. And then release. Okay, let's take that straight over to the other side. Taking the strap around the heel. If that feels okay, we're not overextending that left leg, we're keeping the heel over the hip. Then you can take your right foot out. Flex the toes of the right foot, push the heel down, push the back of the leg down, and let's really bring that leg bone down, root it down into the hip, through the heel. Because your heel is just the bottom of this bone. It's not a separate bone, it's not a separate part. Your heel bone is literally the bottom of your leg bone. You may all know this already, but I genuinely didn't know that up until about 6 months ago, or about 12 months ago maybe. I had no idea that your heel was part of your lower leg bone. Anyway, from here, let's see how it feels to maybe bring that leg in a little more and start to lift your chest towards your thigh. So it's a chest lift, we're not tucking the chin in. I'm trying to push down through my right heel, although it is quite difficult. So we're gently warming that hamstring. Don't have to go too hard in it yet, we've got lots more hamstring stretches to come. Okay, holding the strap with the left hand and placing your right hand on your hip. Root down as much as you can through the right side. Oh, we haven't taken the strap onto the ball of the foot. Sorry guys, take the strap onto the ball of the foot. Root down through the right side. And then let's start taking that left foot over to the left. If your butt cheek lifts off or your hip lifts off, don't go any further. One side, you may be more restricted than the other. And it's really hard to try and squeeze the right butt cheek and keep the hip down. Breathe in. Bring that leg back to centre. See if that leg can hold itself. Push the right heel down a little more and maybe that left heel will come towards your head a bit. Just make sure you've not completely locked your knee joint. You're trying to do splits here with absolutely no pressure whatsoever. You're not pulling anything, you're not forcing anything. And then let's see how it feels when we bring the hands in Of course, bend the right knee if this is too much. You don't want to aggravate any sciatica. If you do, just bend the knee a little more if you feel anything down the back of that leg that you shouldn't be feeling. Okay, taking that strap off, let's see how the pigeon feels. So taking that left leg over to the right. Of course you can bend that right knee in a bit, which will give you a little bit more movement. You can always flex the toes of that left foot to secure your knee and your ankle. This will depend on your hip shape as well. If you've got super flexible hips, you can probably get that foot bent all the way to your face. Otherwise, it might be a little bit more uncomfortable. One more breath. And release. Bring your knees in. Place those hands right at the back of the knee joint and bend your knees over. And we are going to rock up and down just a few times, just rocking up and down. And then next time we come up, we are going to hold. Maybe release the legs, you don't have to. Maybe extend the feet up for 3 breaths. And rolling it over. Come into your cat-cow. Just doing a few little breaths here, dropping the belly, gently lift the chest, lift the bum. See if you keep the elbows rolling in towards each other rather than coming out. And then you can tuck your tail and really push through the heel of the hands to round the upper back. We want to get into that action naturally. So we want to naturally get the elbows rolling in towards each other and then the upper back rounding when we push down. Because when we come into things like our chaturangas, our planks, our downward dogs, we always want that action of the elbows coming in. Okay, bending the knees. We're going to take a downward dog with bent knees. Pushing right back on the heel of the hands. Again, try and roll the elbows towards each other. So you're making space across the upper back. And then extend your left heel back, keep the right knee bent. Get big stretch down that calf muscle, down the hamstring. And in your own time, swapping it over. And keep alternating so you feel a nice stretch down the back of the leg before you take the other side. And then taking both back. You can always walk your feet in a little to place the heels down if you wish, and then send the bum and the thighs to the back of the room. Normally, I would have my heels off normally, so I have to walk my feet in a little just to place the heels down, but it gives the back of those tendons and ligaments a really lovely stretch. And then take your normal, comfortable downward dog. And then we're going to lift the right foot up, toes pointing down. So we haven't lifted the hips are in alignment. Inhale here. As you exhale, shoulders over wrists, knee to nose. Inhale, take that leg back. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, take it back. Exhale, knee to nose. Hold. Lift the knee into the chest so that you can place the right foot down. And then place your left knee down. Pad onto your left knee if you need. We are just going to rise up into our crescent lunge. Keep the hands in the chest if you need. We're going to activate this before we come into the stretch version. So by activating it, I mean tucking the bum under, pushing into the front foot, not the front toes, pushing into the back knee and the back foot. And then as you push down, then start to drag the back knee and the front foot together. And that's going to create a lift. And breathe. Keep tucking the bum under. Keep dragging the back knee forward and the front foot back. And then bring the hands down. Let's get into these hamstrings. So we're going to take our half splits pose, which just means that we're going to sit the bum back and stretch the front foot. You can melt the head down a little and then come forward, lift the chest. Use one move per breath if you wish. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift. Last time, now holding the fold. If you wish, you can slide that heel forward a little. Don't overdo it. I always try and keep my chest lifted a little and the shoulders rolled back, but if you'd rather just curve the spine, you can do. Just do whatever feels good in your body. And then bringing that foot back a little, you're going to take your right foot over to the left side of the mat and drop your right knee. We're going to come into pigeon pose, our traditional pigeon now. So this is where you need your cushions, your blocks, or anything to shove underneath your right butt cheek, which is probably lifted off the floor now unless you've got exceptionally flexible hips. So place whatever you need underneath that right butt cheek and leg to stop you rocking over to the right. Get that support in place. If you need it a little deeper, just tuck your back toes and walk your left knee back until you can really feel that lovely hip stretch. We're staying up in our pigeon just for a bit. I know maybe you're used to just folding forward. But just for a minute, we're going to stay up in pigeon unless it's sore on your back. If this isn't working for you at all, you can lay down and just thread the needle, where you take the right ankle over the left knee. You're still going to get into that hip, so please do that if pigeon isn't working for you. So if you're in your pigeon now, if in this back bend you're quite comfortable, you feel like your hips are quite square and you're supported, be careful, but you can start to take your hands back a little. Be careful with your sacroiliac joints and hold the mat. Take the shoulders back, chin away from the chest slightly. Keep pushing through the front shin and the back foot for support. Pull your pelvic floor in. Don't do it if there is any pain. 2 more breaths. And then now, if you wish, you can take that forward fold. Melting down. If not, you can come onto your forearms, you can stay on your hands, just listen to your body. Sometimes pins and needles can set in because of the angle of the leg, because if it does, just come out of it for a minute. You don't want to be pinching any nerves. Okie dokie, bring yourselves back up, move your support away and come straight into your plank. Wherever you are, joining us in plank, round the upper back, and maybe you can take a chaturanga. It's your first one. You can drop your knees if you wish and lower yourselves down. Chaturanga. Roll the shoulders back, lift the chest into your cobra pose. I want you to really push into the hands as if you're pulling your body through your hands. Roll the shoulders back, elbows in tight. And then pushing up, take your downward dog. And when you're ready, lifting that left leg. Not the left hip, just the left leg. Melt the chest down. Inhale here. Exhale, shoulders over wrists, knee to nose. Inhale. And bring the knee to nose. Inhale. Knee to nose, hold. Bring the knee up a little higher Maybe you can step the foot forward. You can always drop your knee first if you need. Dropping your right knee down onto a cushion if you need to. Rising up into your crescent lunge. Remember, activating this pose, we push everything down and then bring it together to really activate. Tuck the bum under. Hands can be in at the chest, they don't have to be lifted. Shoulders are relaxed. And bring your hands down. We're going to start our rocks. So as we lift the front toes off, straighten the leg, if that's okay with the back of your thigh, otherwise keep a bend in it. And then bring the weight forward. Lift the chest. And exhale back. And inhale forward. And exhale back. And inhale forward. And then we're going to hold on the next one. One side is so much easier than the other. You can keep the chest lifted and the shoulders back, or you can just fold, whatever feels good for you. 2 more deep breaths. And then bringing it forward, we're going to come into that pigeon pose. So have whatever support you need on that left side. As you bring your left foot over to the right side of the mat, and then dropping that left knee down. You can see how twisted that's made me. So I have to realign my hips, which lifts my bum right off the floor. And then I can tuck my right toes, lift the right knee, and melt myself down onto the mat. If this doesn't suit your knees, come onto your backs and take the thread the needle that I showed you before. So your left ankle will come on your right knee, and then you pull that right knee in. But we're just taking the pigeon pose for now. Get as much underneath that left butt cheek, it's usually more than you would think, to really square the hips. And you'll know, because when you straighten your arms, are your shoulders level, or is one side a little bit lower than the other? And if that feels okay, you can start to walk your hands back and hold onto the mat. Again, please don't force this. One side may feel a lot easier than the other. Roll the shoulders back, lift the chest. Straight away that started giving me pins and needles in my left foot. So I know for me that isn't very good, because it's just taking my back into too much compression. It's just pinching something that shouldn't be pinched. So I'm going to come back here. And then, as long as you still feel okay, you can take your forward fold. If you start getting pins and needles, please come out. You can push through that front shin, you can push through your back shin to really activate here, whatever feels good for you. One more breath. And then let's take our plank pose. So push through the heel of those hands, round your upper back. Glutes are in, tummy's tucked up and under the ribs. And then any chaturanga that suits you, whether you want to drop the knees first. And then lowering yourselves down, taking that cobra. If you want, you can bring the hands further back now. And then really pull the body forward. Squeeze the elbows in, push through the back toes. And push yourself up into your downward dog. From here, you're going to walk your feet to the front of the mat. Take your dangle. Hold the opposite elbows, let the head be super heavy. Weight into the toes. Just give that back a nice stretch. Keep a bend in the knees just for a minute. And then as
the back of the room if you want to straighten the legs a bit. Keep the weight coming forward into the toes. Maybe you can grab hold of the ankles and wing the elbows out. Keep the crown of your head coming towards your feet. So just a deeper Uttanasana forward fold. Try and keep the weight forward a little. Keep lifting the bum to the ceiling, sending the thighs to the back of the room, the crown of the head towards the feet. Big breaths into the belly. And gently release. Come all the way up slowly. Lifting the arms. And bring the hands into the chest. Lifting the arms up. And forward fold. Take your chest lift and your bum lift. Send the thighs back. You're getting a nice hamstring stretch here. And then planting the hands down. Taking your plank, chaturanga. You can drop your knees if you wish. Any back bend that suits you. And downward dog. Lifting your right leg into the air. Stepping your right foot to your right hand. Dropping your left knee, but keep the toes tucked under. And then from here, we're going to move through some hamstring stretches, which will look like this. We're going to inhale and straighten the legs, and then exhale and take the knee down. It's up to you if you want to change that breath, working in your own time. Just through, straightening the legs into a triangle, and then dropping that back knee. And then holding. Whilst we are up, maybe walking that back foot in a little so that the back heel can actually come all the way to the floor now. You can place one foot in front of the other if you wish and melt down here. Again, be careful with that front leg. Make sure the weight is as much in the back foot as the front foot, that you're just activating the quads on that front leg. You can use cushions under your hands if your hands can't come to the floor, or if you want a little more, you can reverse the hands and walk them back. Tummy's tucked right up and under the ribs, crown of the head coming towards those toes. Big stretch this is in the back of that right thigh, which I'm sure you can feel. And now bring the hands back either side of that front foot, bend that front knee, lift the back leg into standing splits. We're not lifting the hips, we're not turning the toes out, the toes are down. And maybe your right hand can come to the back of the right ankle. You may need to keep your gaze down. Maybe the left hand can as well. So we're doing splits in the standing pose. And then take that back foot down, drop your left knee, rise up into your Anjaneyasana. Bring the hands down, step back, plank, chaturanga, up dog or cobra, and down dog. Take any little moves that you need as you now lift that left leg into the air. Stepping that left foot to the left hand, right knee comes down. Tucking the back toes under, and then remember we are inhaling and exhaling as we straighten and bend the knee. So coming up, and then lowering down, and then coming up. Doesn't matter if you inhale or you exhale on each move, just try and breathe consciously. And hold. Stepping the back foot in so you can get the heel down. Bring one foot in front of each other if you can, otherwise keep the left foot over to the left, the right foot over to the right. Cushions underneath the fingers if you need. Lifting the bum up to the ceiling. Bringing that left hip back. Bringing the right hip forward, squeeze the inner thighs, and maybe you can walk your hands back and point your fingers to the back of the room. Please listen to your hamstrings. They may well be tight. You may well have a bend in your knee here, or have your hands on cushions. Please listen to your body. Tuck the tummy right up and under the ribs, crown of the head towards that foot. And bring the hands either side of your left foot as you lift the right foot up, standing splits. Keep the gaze down towards the floor because you need your balance if you want to try getting hold of your ankle with your left hand. And maybe the right. Ooh, one side doesn't like it. And then drop in that back foot, drop in the back knee, rise up. And take your plank, chaturanga, up dog or cobra, and down dog. Bend the knees, sit the bum back, gazes forward, and come to the top of your mat. Take a forward fold. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the bum. And as you exhale here, we're going to hold this forward fold a little longer, and we're going to wrap the hands around the back of the calves. If that's too much, you can just have your hands on your thighs, you can just hold the opposite elbows, wherever you want to be. Try and keep the weight coming forward. Try and keep the bum lifting to the ceiling and the thighs going to the back of the room. And carefully now, rising all the way up. And hands to the heart. And let's lift up again. And let's forward fold. Lift the chest, lift the bum. And take your plank and your chaturanga. Take whichever back bend you wish. And take your downward dog. Lifting the right leg into the air. Step it through to your right hand. Come up into a high lunge, so you're on the toes of the front foot. It's a big bend in that front leg. Bring your hands behind you into reverse prayer. So this can be wherever suits you. You can bring the palms of the hands together up your back. If your wrists don't like that, you can keep your hands together pointing down. You can just hold the opposite wrists. Listen to your body. But you are, on the toes of that back foot. And then from here, you are just going to drop the body. So imagine there's a straight line all the way up your back leg and up your body. Chest is lifted. I'm squeezing my belly onto that right thigh. And then from here, you can keep the hands where they are, and you can try and bring the weight into the right foot and take your warrior 3 T-shape. If you need the hands in a different position, please do so. Keep the toes of the back foot pointing down. And then let's step that back foot down again. This time bring the heel down. So warrior 1 leg, so you're not on the back toes. Keep the hands where they are if they are comfortable. But this time we're going to straighten the front leg. Please listen to your hamstrings. And then we're going to fold over that front thigh. Pushing the heel of the hands together. And bring the hands down. Step back plank. Chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. Lift the left leg up. Step it through to the left hand. Stay high on the back toes. Rise up, high lunge. Reverse the hands. So reverse prayer. or the fingers can be pointing down, or you can just hold your wrists, whatever feels good, and take that fold. Squeeze the belly onto the thigh, keep the chest lifted, and create a straight line from the back heel all the way up the back leg to the head. Front leg is bent. And maybe you can take that warrior 3. Ooh. Carefully, tummy's in, gaze is down, hands are in the same position unless you need to move them. And drop that back foot. Now dropping the back heel as well. Please release the hands if you need. And then as we straighten through the front leg, not locking the knee, folding from the groin, push the hands together behind you, bring the elbows back, and just folding over that front knee. Tummy in, it's a balance as well here. Crown of the head's coming down as you lengthen your spine. And release the hands, step back, plank, chaturanga, up dog, child's pose. Just for a minute, big stretch through the shoulders here if you need. You can bring the backs of the hands together at the back of the neck. Do whatever you need to do to work through the wrists. And let's bring ourselves back up. We haven't got time to rest today, too much to do. And let's bring the mat to the wall. Okay, so just come to a wall or a door, and let's see how it feels to get up the wall. So, what we're going to do is sit on the floor, bum is right up against the wall, and just use the strap you've been using or a block just to mark where the heel of your foot is. Just make sure the bum's right up against the wall, because that's what our mark is going to be. So mark where the heel of the foot is. And then all we're going to do is bring the heel of the hand to where that marker was. So the heel of the hand. We're going to lift up into a downward dog. If you don't have a wall, it doesn't matter. You can still lift up from here and bring your heels to the edge of your mat. And all we're going to do is lift the right foot either into the air or against the wall. As we see how it feels from this position, to start taking splits against the wall. Keep the elbows tracking in towards each other. Keep breathing. And come onto the toes of the foot that's against the wall if you wish, rather than tucking the toes, you can be on the top of the foot. Take a rest if you need, or go straight onto the other side. And see how that feels. May feel tighter. You don't have to use the wall, you can just keep the leg in the air for a bit. It's harder if you don't use the wall. Just really stretching those hamstrings, the groin, the hips. And then just give yourselves a little minute. You can take a child's pose if you need. We've just got 2 more postures to do up against the wall. So it's a nice shoulder workout as well, because we haven't done a huge amount on the shoulders today. Okay, you might just want to watch this next one for a minute. I've never done this with you in class. And that crescent lunge that we do, it's just that, but it's against the wall. So it looks like this. The hands are in exactly the same position. And then you lift one foot up high, and then the other foot comes on the wall as well and bends in. So please have a go when you're ready, if you want to. Otherwise you can work with the standing splits again. Or you can even do this pose on the floor. You can just be here on the floor if you wish. You don't have to take it up the wall. So, I'm going to do it on the left side now. So, the left leg comes up high, and then as I really push into those left toes, the right foot comes up the wall. It's just super hard on the shoulders. If it's too much, just do it on the floor. stretching those hamstrings, working the shoulders. Oh, one more move to do on the wall. I can't believe the time, honestly, I keep saying this. Okay, so if you want to try a deeper splits on the wall, if you don't want to have any more wall work, just come back into your bent leg pose, front leg bend, you're on the back knee, and just work through the half splits that we've been doing. You don't have to keep going up the wall. Just do alternate sides with that. So the last one, instead of your hands being in line with your marker, you're going to bring your hands back. So obviously because your hands are further back, the legs have more pressure. If you try it and it's too much, just go back to your first posture where the heel of the hands was in line with the sponge. So it's like coming into a much shorter downward dog. And then from there, manoeuvring yourselves, and you may well now be on the top of the foot rather than tucking the toes. And just seeing how that feels. That side's okay. We need to work on the tougher side. We always go for the easy side first. Oh yeah, that's much harder. We need to work on the harder side. And have a minute. Okay, wall work is done. Just going to bring my mat away from the wall a little. Get all of your cushions handy. We're going to try our splits pose now. So, let's start by coming into our downward dog. And then when you're ready, let's lift that right leg into the air and step the right foot to the right hand, staying on the heel, toes even, of the back foot, and lift up into your high lunge. If this gets too much, just drop your left knee. From here, we are just going to drop the back knee and lift. 3 more. Hover and lift. Oops. Hover and lift. So I'm straightening both legs and bending both legs. Last one. Hold. Warming up our hips. And then bringing those hands down, dropping that knee. Whilst you're in this position here, place all of the cushions that you think you might need underneath your groin. Because this is where we are going to start rocking through and gradually taking the left knee back and gradually taking the right heel forward until you feel like you can't move anymore, and then you can place whatever you need underneath your groin. Trying to keep the body forward if you can. Go easy, keep as much of a bend in the knees. You can see I've got quite a big bend on this side. That's my splits on this side. And then you can bring your hands into your heart and breathe. Go easy. Maybe you can lift your hands up and take a lift through the chin. Depends on your back. Just listen to your body. Please be careful. We're going to try a twist if you wish. You can take your left hand to the outside of your right leg and then take your right hand around and just take a gentle twist. You're twisting towards your leg that's in front of you. And finally, if you wish, carefully, you can take a fold over the front leg. And then from here, you're going to start to drag that front foot in a little. You can wiggle
You can wiggle through a bit. Coming out of the hardest flipping thing, isn't it? Okay, once you've come back onto the knee of the back leg and the front foot, you can move whatever cushions you had out of the way. Maybe you can rise up. Maybe you can tuck the back toes and lift up into a high lunge. We're going to join the fingers behind our backs. We're going to roll the shoulders back. Place the left heel on the floor now, like warrior one legs. Keep the chest lifted and fold from the groin to humble warrior. So humble warrior is we keep folding down on the inside of that right leg, bringing the hands over the head behind us. Our legs are nice and warm, so we're going to add on. From here, you can bring your right shoulder, will keep coming down. If this has got too much at any point, just drop that left knee. Keep dropping the right shoulder, so the right hand comes underneath the right foot, over to the right. Might be better if I face you for this. So I'm here. The back knee can be down if you need it to be. And then from here, maybe you can start taking that front foot forward and then lift that front foot off the floor. Flying splits pose. I mean, you're supposed to get the back foot off as well. I'm not going to be doing that one today. And then bringing it back in. Whew. Taking your plank. Taking your chaturanga. Taking any back bend that feels good. And you can take child's pose or downward dog. Whatever you want to do. Just want to try that on the other side. Just about enough time. Okay, if you're in child's pose, downward dog. Let's lift the left leg and step it through to the left hand. Rise up, high lunge. You can keep the hands at the chest, of course. And we're going to go through bending both knees and then straightening. And then bending and then straightening. If it's too much, keep the right knee on the floor and just stay there. You don't have to keep moving. And hold. Bring the hands down, dropping the right knee, and bring whatever you need to get ready for our splits on this side. So you can walk, take that right knee back a bit, maybe come onto the heel of the front foot and just see how it feels as you gradually take the front foot forward and the back leg back. And naturally you may want to twist around. If that's the case, you probably need to be higher up, more support. Be careful with your sacroiliac joint. You've got one leg going forward and one going back, so it's just twisting the lower back joints. So listen to your body. Hands in at the heart if you wish. Or you can lift them up. So Hanumanasana is the monkey god. A lot of yoga poses are based, the stories behind them are based around, of course, Hindu philosophy. It does not float my boat in any way, Hindu philosophy, which is why I never really talk about it, but some people love it and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. There are beautiful messages from the stories which you can take away, which I do love about it. And then maybe you can take that twist. So bringing the right hand to the outside of that left leg and the left hand can just come behind. And a gentle twist of the shoulders, please be careful with the twist. Your legs are as bent as you need them to be. You can even, stack as many cushions as you need. And then maybe just to finish on this side, I'm just going to bend my leg in a little, you can forward fold.
Okie dokie, let's start to bring that front foot back a little bit if we can, if we're not glued in place. Move the cushions out of the way and then rise up, crescent moon. Tuck the back toes and lift the back heel off. Maybe we can join the fingers, roll the shoulders back, drop that back heel into warrior one legs and take our humble warrior as we fold from the groin. If this has got too much now, please just take child's pose. And maybe now you can bring that left shoulder right down and take that left hand out to the left. You might want to come back onto the toes of the back foot, or you can drop the back knee. Make sure you've got the contact between the upper thigh and the upper arm on that left side, because that's what's going to support you as you lift the front foot off the floor. And then when you're ready, bringing it back down. Take your plank, chaturanga, back bend, child's pose, everybody in child's pose. We've totally run out of time. I want you to finish with a twist, so just come onto your backs. I know we weren't in child's pose for very long, but I really want you to do a twist. Hug your knees in. Take the arms wide. And then just let the knees fall to the left. And you can take your gaze to the right. And just take some deep breaths here. And bringing the knees back in, taking it to the other side when you're ready. And then just lay yourselves down into your final relaxation. And as you relax down, I'm going to play the bowl just to help you relax down. I hope everybody's legs are all right after that. We don't often do such intense stretching. Lay yourselves down, hands by the side or on your bellies, and just start letting everything go. Just keep a nice gap between the thighs. Start to feel the scalp and the forehead soften. Big breaths. Let the eyes sink into the head. Let the lips relax, the teeth gently
Noticing how you feel as your inhale starts to bring the cool air into your body, and you wiggle your fingers and your toes. And take your lovely big stretch. Hugging your knees in and rolling onto your right side. Keeping the mind positive. Not judging any splits pose that you did. It was what you were meant to do today. Joining me in a seated position just to seal the practice. Hands in Anjali Mudra. Feel each part of the hand touching the other. Relax the shoulders, lift the chest. Bowing your head. Bringing the hands to the third eye. I hope you enjoyed that lovely grounding, leggy practice. Thank you so much for joining me, and thank you again for my beautiful gift. Namaste. Oh, thank you everybody. I hope you'll feel okay after that. And I hope to see you at Yoga Tone tomorrow. I think we'll just do 14 exercises tomorrow. We'll just do them twice before you all get scared. See you tomorrow.